Thanks for joining in. So we specifically have scheduled this session for L&D folks, and we have our data science expert Rahul. So I'll ask Rahul to take over from here. Rahul, over to you.
All right. All right. So welcome to the session, and I hope all of you guys are doing good. So today's agenda is basically to talk about one of the very powerful concepts, which is known as RAG. We are going to create one of the chatbots using the RAG system. First of all, we'll try to understand what it is. And we will be using one tool, which is known as n8n. This tool is basically created for the people who are coming from a non-technical background, right? So it's like a more of a drag and drop bit of things we have to understand. So I'll be talking about bit of a technical part as well, and then we'll get into implementing the same. What are we expecting from this session? What we are going to get? Let's try to understand this. So I'll open up the chatbot. I'll show you how it looks like. So this is the chatbot which we are going to build. And here is my chat screen. Let me open that. So this will be my chatbot, and we can ask any random question from this document. So this is the document which I have created, a dummy document. For example, what are the office timings, right? You guys are having a lot of documents which you are dealing with, and you may have to refer a lot of things from those documents. So what if we can create a chatbot and we can ask question directly, and rather than me going and navigating the entire document, I can get the response directly from the chatbot. So let's go and let's ask this question. What are the office timings? So as per this, it is gonna be 9 to 6. So here you can see that the operation hours are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. Employees are expected to be logged in by 9:30 a.m. So you can see logged in by 9:30 a.m. Right? Let's say I'm asking what are the leave policies? So as per this document, 16 paid leaves, 12 casual plus 6 privileged leaves, right? Let's see what's coming in. So 12 casual leaves, 6 privileged leaves, and carry forward up till maximum 30 days. Leave application should be submitted through HRMS at least 3 days in advance, right? So exactly the same thing is written here as well. And if you go to the second pointer. So this is the benefit which we get. So in real time, we are having big amount of documents which we are dealing with. What if I can train I would not say train, but I will create a system which will help me to get the responses from that, right? So that is the agenda for today. And this type of system is known as RAG system. The full form of RAG is retrieval augmented generation, right? I know we are coming from a non-technical background, so we may not get like how to implement this entire thing. But as I mentioned that this n8n software is meant for non-techies like us who are basically create their own solutions. And obviously, if still we don't want to, we can ask our technical teams to implement the same for us, right? So that's why I wanted to discuss this, because this is like one of the very frequently used solutions which companies are now creating. So retrieval augmented generation is an AI architecture that enhances large language models by combining them with the external knowledge retrieval systems. Rather than relying solely on the model's internal parameters, RAG allows LLMs to access, retrieve, and use up-to-date information from external databases before generating responses. This powerful approach bridges the gap between static model knowledge and dynamic real-world information needs. So idea here is that I don't need to do any training. I'll be just giving one context, and based on that, it is going to give me the response. So I'll show you one more example here, how this idea came in, right? So we are all aware of what is ChatGPT. What they found out that if I am saying 1 plus 2 is equal to, sorry, 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, 5 plus 7 is equal to 12. So give me 11 and 13, right? So basically it will understand that, okay, 1 plus 3 is 4, 5 plus 7 is 12. So I want 11 plus 13, that is 25, right? 24. So you can see output is coming in. This type of concept is known as few short prompts. Basically, I am giving few examples in my prompts, and from that, machine is understanding that, okay, this type of output is what expected from me, right? And this concept actually led to the invention of RAG. So this RAG concept came with the help of this concept, right? So basically, when people were developing the large language model, they found out this behavior that if I give certain examples and ask to get the response on those lines, machine is very well doing it. So why not in the prompt itself, I will give the document, right? Why not the HR policy which I have, the document which I have just shown you? Why not I can give that entire HR document in my prompt itself and I ask question from that, right? So that was the key idea. And that is the reason the RAG concept came in. And that is what we are going to discuss. Without doing any external training, we are just giving the external document. And based on that document, we are getting the response. Let me show you the architecture first, how it actually happens, right? So here you can see that we have a document which we are going to use is the 2-pager document, HR policy document. So I will be loading that document first. Once the loading is done, I will be splitting the document, right? Basically, document which I have, every large language model has its own context window. That means machine can only remember certain tokens. Tokens as a layman, you can understand like a words, right? So machine can remember 1,28,000 words or 1,28,000 tokens as of now, right? If you are using ChatGPT, the latest model which they have, GPT-5, it can only remember 1,28,000 tokens at a time. Let's say this document consists of uh, 50 lakh tokens. So machine will not able to read this entire document properly because machine has only 1,28,000 capability. So what I have to do is I have to split this document into smaller chunks so that I can give a smaller chunk at a time and machine understands it, right? So that is the second part. After document loading, I want to split the document. Once that is done, I will be converting the splitted document into numbers. Because under the hood, all these AI, machine learning, everything is playing with numbers, right? Machine does not understand the characters. Machine does not understand the language, English language. Machine only understand numbers. So what we will be doing is we will be splitting this document, and once that is done, we will be converting that to the embeddings. Embeddings are basically nothing but converting your textual data to the numbers. There are different models available which we can use to convert that. We don't have to do it manually, right? I can apply OpenAI models, which there is OpenAI embedding model is available, basically helping me to convert the text to numbers. So we will be using that in this example. Once that is done, I will be storing this entire embeddings in the database. This is the database which we have. This is a special database which stores only numbers, which is mathematically known as vectors. So we are storing the vectors out here. And that is why this particular database is also known as vector database because it stores the vectors out there. Once that is done, this is the first part where we process the document and we store that in a form of a number. Now user comes in and asks some query. For example, how many leaves I can take per year, right? So now what will happen? This user query which we have also will get converted to numbers. And we have to make sure that what is the dimension of this vector. Let's say the dimension of this vector is 512. then I want to make sure that the dimension of this vector also should be 512 only, right? So the dimensionality should be same. So once that is done, I will convert the user input into the vector and then I will search it on the database. Whichever vectors are closer to the user input will be fetched out. And those fetched out vector will be going inside the system query along with the user query. So basically what is happening, try to understand as a layman. User asked how many leaves I can take per year. This system fetched out all the documents which are mentioning about the leaves, and those documents are coming here as well. Now your user query plus the pages which consists of the leave information combined together and getting inside the LLM as a prompt. And then LLM will give me the response, right? So this is the entire architecture which we have for RAG. How this searching and all happen, I'll give you a brief idea. So here you can see that we have a document which consists of asthma. This blue line is a vector 1, which is talking about asthma. This pink line is vector 2, which is talking about your COVID-19. And cancer is the orange line, which is talking about the vector V3. So these are the three vectors we have, V1, V2, and V3. Now user is asking about, tell me about COVID-19. You can see this is my input vector, which is coming in a blue color. You can see that these two vectors are very closer. So automatically what machine will do, machine will pick up the V2. That is vector 2, that is COVID-19. So that is the visual representation of how the things happen, right? So whichever user query comes in, it will look for the vectors. Whichever vectors are more closer will be picked up. Here is the simple mathematics. I'll not go into detail, but basically I have three sentences. I love data science, I love data analysis, and I love Java programming. I clearly see that I love data science and I love data analysis are more closer as compared to I love Java programming. I converted these sentences into a vector. You can see the vector out here. It's a 7-dimension vector. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Here you can see that I love data science is 1, 1, 1, 1. Rest all are 0. I love data analysis is 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0. And same with Java programming 1, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 1. Right. I will use this cosine similarity concept. Basically, it's one of the ways to compare the things, right? So A dot B is a two vector multiplication upon length of A upon length of B. So basically, if you do a quick maths on this, you will see that these two vectors are coming more closer. I'm not getting much into detail, but the idea is that it will find out, okay, these two are more similar, right? So these are the components of RAG which we have: document processing, vector database, retriever, and generator, right? So document processing is basically again the splitting and embedding. I want to split the document. I want to convert that to numbers. I will store that in the vector database. Once user query will be coming in, it will be retrieved and then it will generate the response using the chat model, right? These are the various use cases where you can apply the RAG systems. And these are the different types of RAG systems, which again, I am not talking much in detail. But this is important thing which I will talk about is the real world use cases, which you can also think of in your job profiles, right? Enterprise knowledge base. For example, you are working as a HR manager and you want to have all the HR policies together coming inside as a chatbot, right? So you can create a chatbot for all the knowledge base about HR. Let's say you are into L&D, right? You are planning to have certain trainings and there is certain criteria for training. Maybe there is some eligibility or something like that. You are maintaining a document. So now I want you to create a chatbot where you can go ahead and you can um, give your employees a clear-cut understanding about what are the L&D policies, right? So all those type of chatbots we can very well create, right? Customer support, research assistant, educational tutoring, compliance monitoring, all those things we can very well create. So what I'll be doing is now this was a brief understanding about how the things are, right? Now I'll be going ahead and I'll be showing you how we can achieve the same. So I'll take all the questions at the end, right? I see some of the questions coming in, so give me some time. So this is what we are going to build. So in this n8n software, again, it's a paid one. You can get, I think 14 days trial period. So you can play around with that. And if you like it, if you think that this is gonna be one of the products which we may have to purchase for creating the solution, then you can purchase that as well, right? So as a company, you can purchase that. So let's create a chatbot. I will be using, so if you remember in the PPT, I mentioned that there is a vector database, right? So I will be using one of the vector databases which are available is Pinecone, right? Pinecone is one of the vector database to build the knowledgeable AI, right? So I already have the account out there. I'll just logging in. Few steps we have to remember, right? So that we can create this entire chatbot. It's taking a bit of time. Let's wait for a few minutes. In the meantime, let's go back and let's come here. I want to create two things, right? One is load data, which will help me to load the data in this Pinecone database. And second is the chat bot, right? So two workflows I want to create. One is loading the data in your Pinecone database, and second is your this thing, right? Chatbot. So here you can see this is my Pinecone database coming in. The first thing which I will be doing is I'll be creating the index. Okay, so let's create one index out there. You can give the index here. So I'll say L&D HR demo, right? I will be using embedding model. I told you, right? There is a way to convert the text to numbers and there are models available. So I'll be using the OpenAI model text embedding 3 small, right? I click on this and I will create the index. That's it. You can decide the dimensions, how many dimension of vector you want, right? So you can decide that I'm going with 5. If you remember metric cosine similarity, which I have shown you in the PPT, right? So it is going to use the cosine similarity for searching the nearest document. So I'll create the index out here. As of now, you can see the index got created, L&D HR demo. As of now, it is empty. As of now, that document which I want to store is not stored here. I want to create the flow in the n8n to generate that, right? As of now, this index is an empty index, which I obviously want to be uh, created, right? Here is the API key, which is helping you to connect this particular database with n8n. I already have the API key, but if you want, you can create your own API key from here and you can pass it. Where to pass it, I will discuss that. Okay. What also I am going to do is I will be storing this particular PDF file, which I have shown you in the Google Drive. What I want is from the Google Drive, so here is the Google Drive n8n demo. Here I have put this employee handbook, right? What I want is if any new document comes in here, automatically your database should get updated, the Pinecone database. And as and when the new file will be coming inside this particular folder, the database will get updated and your chatbot will give me the responses from that new document as well. Everything will be dynamic in nature, right? So let's go ahead and let's create the workflow. The first workflow is loading the data. So I'll go ahead and I'll rename this load data. First part is I click on this plus sign. What is my requirement? My requirement is that I want the Google Drive, right? I want the Google Drive. What do you want? On changes involving a specific folder. So basically in this particular folder, if any changes will happen, I want you to trigger, right? So I click on this. Here I have to set the Google account. I already did that. You can very well create your credentials. Here is the documents available. It's a step-by-step process which you can follow. It's not a very big thing to do. So you can do that once you have it, the free trial. I am choosing my own account for now. What I want every minute, I will look at this folder, right? For example, let's say this folder will change after every month. There is no frequent changes happening in this particular folder. Only every month the file will get changed. So here I can go ahead and I can change it to every month, right? So basically this is nothing but it is just checking after every minute, do we have any new file coming in or not, right? Once that is done, I'll click on the folder, which folder is of my interest, n8n demo, right? So this is the folder which is of my interest. Watch for file created, right? So that is the thing. I click on this fetch event, it will show the document. I'm not doing it for now, but yeah, this is the node which is very much created. This is my trigger node, right? So whenever you will find that a new document coming in, then only this is gonna trigger, else it will not trigger. So that is first thing. Second is from this particular Google Drive, I want to download the file. So I'll click on this plus sign again. Again, I look for Google Drive. What I want to download the file. So I click on that file, download. Which file? From the list. You have to search it from here. The best part is what? Let's go ahead. Let's remove this. Just give me a second. Let me double click this, fetch this. Here you can see the details coming in. In that particular folder, I have only one file, right? And what is the file name? You will see somewhere here. Employee handbook, right? I'll go back, click here. Here also, you will see the same information. I'll go back, employee handbook. Which file you are looking for? I want it from the ID and I will drag this ID of the file. This is the ID of the file, right? I'll drag this guy here. That's it, right? So here is the ID which I dragged it. I want to search my file through ID. So every file has its own ID. In this folder, we only have one file. So one ID is there. So it is coming in, right? So that is my second node. So that is also done. So I downloaded the file. Next is I want to call the vector store, right? So I'll call my Pinecone vector store, right? What do you want? Update vector store database, retrieve document, add document to. So as of now, we want to add document to the vector store, right? I click on this. Once I click on this, what we want, here are certain information. Here you have to pass the Pinecone account. As I mentioned, we have the API key, right? So this API key is what I have passed here. You can create new one also, and you can pass your new API key as well. Okay. So that is again simple. Call the API and that's it. So this thing is connected. From list, we created this database L&D HR demo, right? That is what we created here. If you come back to this databases, L&D HR demo, I want to update this database, right? I want to add the document in this database. So that is what I am, where is that here? I'll be choosing this database, right? Embedding batch size means 200 characters per split, right? And then here we can pass the namespace, Pinecone namespace. Here we can give the Pinecone namespace. Let's say LNDHR demo n8n, right? So this is the namespace which I am giving, something like a table name. As a layman, you can understand it is something like a table name. Okay. So that part is also done. And let's go back to the canvas. Few things I want to attach out here. One is embedding model I want, right? I want to convert the text to number. So I need embedding model. So I click on this plus sign and I'll be choosing OpenAI embedding model, right? Here also OpenAI account. You have to pass the API key of your OpenAI account. From where you will get it? From the platform.openai.com, you will get it, right? From platform. All these are chargeable, obviously, right? So you can go here and you can create your own API key. I already have it, right? So I am not making any new key. It's on usage basis only. You have to prepaid it, right? You have to recharge it, and based on your usage, it will be deducting. So I'm going with OpenAI small model, which is fine. Here there is an option of vector size dimension, right? I want my dimension to be 512. Why I want my dimension to be 512? Because here also I put my dimension as 512. So I will be keeping it as is, right? So that is also done. So I'll close this. So my OpenAI embedding model is connected, which will be helping me to see, try to understand the flow. From the Google Drive, I am downloading the file. Now, this will convert the file into the numbers, right? This particular model will convert the file into the numbers. But which file? So I'll click on this plus sign, and here I will have default document loader. Which file you have? Binary file, right? Because text file is considered as a binary file. Load all the input data. Detect the type. So if you go here, detect the type is my PDF, right? It's a PDF file. Splitting. I have to split the document. We discussed that, right? Splitter is one of the things. So you can apply a custom split, or after every 1,000 characters, it will split with a 200 characters overlap. So all those options are there. I'm going with the simple one. Simple splitter. That's it. So this part is also done. So this is my first workflow, which is ready, which will generate the database for me. So when I run this, let me save it. Let me activate it. Right. As of now, if you go back to the Pinecone, click on this index, right? You can see it is empty, no records yet. Now let me run this. You can execute the workflow. You can see it is executing, done. Workflow ran successfully. Now when I go back to this and when I refresh, you can see that 4 document coming in. It splitted the data into 4 documents. See, all the documents are now available. Your PDF is now available in this particular database. So this is run successfully. Here is the namespace which we given, L&D HR demo n8n. It has multiple steps. You will get the recording as well, but try to understand logically, right, what's happening here. So my database is now ready, which is having the entire text, right? And now this text is converted into numbers and it got stored in this particular database. So that is the first part of the creation. My database is ready. Now what? Now I want to go ahead and I want to create my chatbot, right? So let's do that. So my load data is done. I'll be creating a new workflow. Let's call it as L&D HR chatbot. Okay. Click on plus sign. How you want to trigger? I want to trigger on chat message, right? Make the chat publicly available. I can give the name, hi, my name is Chantu, right? So this is the message coming in. So this is my chat trigger. I'll go back. If someone sends the message, then what do you want? I want to call my AI agent, right? I want to call my AI agent. So connected to chat trigger, this I'll keep it as is. I'll go back. This AI agent require a chat model, right? I want an OpenAI model, OpenAI chat model now. What chat model does? Chat model will give me the text response. In the previous workflow, I was using the embedding model, which was converting the text to numbers. But what this guy will do? This guy will generate the text for me, right? Basically the responses. So this is my chat model I'm using. Memory. I want a memory as well. I'm using simple memory. What does memory means? Suppose I am asking any question. Let me go back and let me start my chatting. Let me remove this memory for now. Okay. Let me ask, who is the PM of India? So it will hit the chat model and it will give me the response. So here you can see that the response is coming in Narendra Modi, right? Now I will ask, what is his age? Now it will say whose age, right? I am not clear with the question, right? Why it is happening like this? Because memory is not there. By default, large language model does not have memory. So I want to give a memory, right? 5 context means it can remember the 5 previous chats. So now I gave the memory. Now let me ask again, who is the PM of India? So here you can see that Narendra Modi. Then I'll ask, what is his age? You can see that this simple memory will also get triggered. So let me run this. You can see it triggered and his age is 73, right? So this is what this memory does. So that is what we are giving the memory to my chatbot. Because when user asks how many leaves I can take, I'll respond, my chatbot will respond 12 leaves. Then I will ask how many I have. So it should able to understand that, okay, you're asking about leave only, nothing else, right? So that is one thing which we should be putting in. Now, once that is done, I'll be adding a tool, right? I want to add a tool. Which tool I want to add? Answer question with the vector store. Answer question with a vector store, this tool, right? Here in this tool, I can give a prompt as well. I'll mention clearly here that go through the document and give me the relevant responses. Okay. The rest all will keep it as is, no changes required. So this is my answer. I want to tag few more things out here. One is the vector store, right? From where will I get the response? I will get the response from this vector store. Here the documents are there. And from the previous workflow, it created the vector store. So I'll connect this Pinecone database, right? I click on this plus sign and I'll choose Pinecone, right? Obviously, I'm having the API key and all those things. From list L&D HR demo. This is the database which we have, which we created. So I'll have it here. What next? I'll give my this thing Pinecone namespace. What was the Pinecone namespace? The Pinecone namespace is this. So I'll copy this. Okay. So that is also done. I'll go back. I will add the embedding model again because I want to convert this, right? Convert this number to text again. So that's why embedding model OpenAI. And here I'll just make sure I am using the same model, small 3, and same dimension, that is 512, right? That's it. This part is done. Let me just minimize this. Okay. And lastly, I will add one more chat model here, which will help me to convert to the text. So OpenAI chat model. I'll use the same 4O mini. I think I was using mini, I guess. Let me check it out. Chat model 4O, yeah, okay, that's fine. So this is my chatbot, which is ready. Let me now ask questions, right? What are the office timings? Let's see. It is accessing the chatbot and all. You can see the office timings are 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday to Friday, logged in by 9:30. Okay. Do we have any dress code? So here you can see it's not able to understand clearly, right? Could you please specify organization dress code you have inquiring about? So it's still having some problem. So what we have to do, we have to give a proper prompt out there. Just give me a second. So we'll go to my AI agent, and here I'll be adding the system message, right? So here I'll say, you are a helpful assistant. Go through the document and give the response to the user in the clear and concise way, and point wise if necessary. Give me exactly what is written in the document, right? So this is the system prompt which I have given. And now let me ask, and we also have to frame the questions in a way that it will understand also properly, right? What is the dress code we have? So here you can see that we got the response. Smart casuals all working day during this t-shirt encourage Friday as a team spirit activity, right? Also, let's say I'm asking, what is the work from home policy? Let me open the PDF also side by side so that we can compare. So this is the PDF. Work from home policies, 5 work from per month, subject to manager approval. Work from should be requested via email, and more than 3 days, HR, it will be routed through HR, right? Let's see what it is saying. Employer allowed work from up to 2 days a week. So you can see that this is a hallucinated response, right? Your chatbot is not giving you the correct response as of now. So we have to fix this problem, right? So this type of things will happen. We have to make sure that your chatbot will give me a proper response. So some of the problem may be there. We may have to check it out. What is the problem? But this way we can create a chatbot, and we have to make sure that chatbot is giving me the correct response. Let me just first save it, activate it. And let me try this again. So for example, work from home policy. What is the work from home policy? So now you can see it's working fine once I saved it. So 5 work from home policy, right? HR, you have to go to the HR. All those things are coming in. So now it is perfectly fine. Once this is done, this is the backend part. Now I want it to integrate with my website. So I'll go back to this chat. I'll copy this link, and this link will be accessed with your website very well. So I click on this, paste this link out here. Here is the chatbot coming in. You can ask any question which you want to ask, right? What is the emergency contact number we have in the company? So you can see 9876543210. Let's go and check it out. See, 9876543210. So exactly the same coming. So this is my chatbot ready. I can very well integrate this with my intranet, my websites and all, and your employees can very well connect and use this chatbot and get the relevant responses, right? So this is how you can see it. We did not do any coding, right? It was all drag and drop. I know it's a bit of overwhelming because a lot of steps are there, but you will get the recordings. You can play around with that. But this particular software, which is n8n, there are other softwares as well, like Zapier is one of the softwares. So these are the softwares which we can very well use, and we can create this type of documents, right? This type of solutions. You can use this particular n8n for creating the social media content as well, right? You can actually click on this plus sign and you can explore what all things are available out there, right? It's a very powerful software to create your own solutions of social media. Let's say I want to send the email, so you can go to Gmail and you can integrate with Gmail as well. You can integrate with other services as well, right? You can integrate with Slack. You can integrate with Telegram. You can integrate with WhatsApp, right? So a lot of things are there which you can integrate with, and your automation will be happening with a smoother pace, right? So that is the power of this software. And I just wanted to talk about this as a RAG solution, which will help you to create a repository for your question bank based on your documents, company documents, right? You can have any bigger size document and you can create a chatbot from the same. Okay. So I hope this is what I wanted to cover with the practical understanding. Any doubts? Now we can take it. Self-hosted is free. Which one? For your use, it is fine. It is free, but it is only free for 13 days trial period. n8n you can download for free as well. So there are certain ways to do that. I'll just check it out. You can download n8n as a product in your machine also, right? So that is absolutely free, but there are certain way to do that. I need to check what is the process. You can maybe follow that. Any doubts, any queries? Let me know. Naveen, you can take it from here.
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. So there were a couple of questions. Hope you're able to answer them.
Yeah, I did that, I guess.
Okay, all right. The one was in the Q&A window and a couple of them were on the chat window. Those questions have been answered, right?
Chat window, I did that.
One is from Q&A window. Mohammad Rafi. How will you fine tune the vector database? 1 TB data is over the database.
How do you find you in the vector database? So, it's about how to fetch out the information. So there are techniques available which can help me to fetching out the data faster from the vector database, right? So there are concept of approximate nearest neighbors and all those things. So that will help me to go ahead and fetch out the things faster. That is one thing. Second thing is, if the document is very big and you want to convert it to a vector database, in that case, first of all, again, there can be a chance that some of the redundant information will be there in the document. So it is always advisable to clean the document as well and put all the relevant information without any duplications and then create a vector store. Does it provide n8n provide the code? n8n, so this code which I have created, right, I can very well export this code to the JSON format and you can use this exact code in your machine as well. So under the hood, there is a JSON format which we can export and we can share it with uh, some other team member and they can use that.
Okay, any other questions? There are any other questions, we are there for 1 or 2 minutes, we'll be able to answer. Meanwhile, we also have a feedback form, so please let us know how the session was. And also, if you have any preferences, like any other AI sessions that you want to learn, do let us know. We'll be happy to do that. Apart from that, we are also helping a lot of organizations on on generative AI specifically for, whether it could be for the developers or it could be for the functions like HR, L&D, marketing, sales. We are always there, and we can do a complimentary session for your organization members also. Please feel free to let us know, and we'll be happy to do that. So before that, I think we also have, I mean, is it a question? I'm not sure. Mohammed has asked, okay, AASI and AGI, more sessions.
ASI and AGI as of now not developed, right? It's under development only. People are trying it, but it is not successful. We can have a session on generative AI more in detail, but AGI and ASI people did not develop till now. It's under process. Maybe will they do that or not? I'm not sure because it's not working out, right, with them. Any specific topics which you think we can have in the next sessions? You can fill up the form and we can plan the session on
Yeah.
those lines.
Yeah, so this is something that we have been doing regularly every month, so monthly webinars. So along with that, AI, we also do other technical webinars where your other employees can join in. But we regularly try to conduct one session for L&D professions like you. So if you have anything specific on AI that you want to learn, do let us know. We'll be happy to arrange them, because the more the inputs we get from you, based on that, we can actually organize those kind of AI sessions, AI or generative AI sessions for specific to L&D and HR folks. Okay, we request you to actually fill up the form, please. The link is already been provided by my colleague Vinod. It's already there in the chat window. Looks like there are no more questions. We may want to wrap up. If you want to leave the feedback, we can quickly click on the link. This is just a quick MS form, 5-6 questions. You can fill it up for us. All right. I think it was really an excellent session, Rahul. Thank you for once again coming back and delivering in no session on AI for L&D folks. We look forward for you to have no more sessions coming up. I think this month, I think just because of Diwali, we had very less participation, but hopefully, look forward to see more participants in the November and December month. Thank you, Rahul. Thanks for the wonderful
Yeah.
session, and thanks participants to being a wonderful participants. Look forward all again in the upcoming sessions. Thank
Yeah.
you. Take care, and also wish you all a happy Diwali.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye. Take care.